Okay, guys, taking a break here. Leviathan. Okay, let me share a comment that was left on a video with the last video I uploaded, I think. And it is about, they said, there is no space. Check Genesis 1, it says nothing about outer space. And that, I would say that's true. It doesn't say there's outer space, but just the concept of darkness has to be understood here. I told them to go to Genesis 1 verse 2 again and check that one out and just carefully look at that. So we'll do that right now. Genesis 1 verse 2, it introduces us to darkness. Okay, it doesn't tell us what it is, but it introduces to us that it exists, okay? And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So there was the earth, and then there was darkness upon the face of the deep. That word deep, that means like a sea or an abyss. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So there was this deep abyss or this sea or whatever of darkness, and the Spirit of God was above that, moved upon the face of the waters. The face of the waters would be the top of the water. So then I just want to go over this basically quick. Okay, so he made the firmament, right? He said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. So in the middle of the waters, he made a firmament. And let it divide the waters from the waters. Two different kinds of waters, or two different waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. So the firmament is heaven. He created the heaven, and there was waters above and underneath. Okay, simple. Well, maybe not simple. And it was called heaven, the firmament. Okay, and God said, let the waters under the heaven, so we're the waters under the heaven, be gathered together unto one place, be gathered together around one ball. It doesn't say that at all. And we know how water is. If you pour water out somewhere, it's going to be flat at its surface, and it's going to fill whatever low spot or container you have it in. So it says, let the waters under the heaven be gathered unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. So this is a simple picture to paint in our minds. The earth, or actually I'll keep reading because it introduces what the earth is. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. So seas above the firmament, and seas beneath the firmament, or under the firmament. And that's where the earth is. There's seas above too. And he said the gathering together of the waters he called seas. Okay, now I want to show you about Leviathan. So there's waters above and waters below. The waters above are dark waters. And that's right here in Psalm 18. Let's see, right here, verse 11, or verse 9, it says, he bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. That's what Genesis 1 says. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, those dark waters, okay? And darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. There's definitely dark waters above, okay? And it's called darkness in Genesis 1 verse 2. The darkness upon the face of the deep, okay? So the deep is up above the earth because that's where the waters were gathered, above the firmament. Or I don't know if I don't know if it's that there's waters in the firmament. I don't know, but I know there's waters above the firmament, because it says right here, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So there was the firmament's a divider, and it's heaven. I don't know, but we know that darkness is God's secret place, and it was under his feet. Okay, now in Job 41, it gives us a little description of Leviathan. And what I wanted to talk about is Leviathan's scales. Because they remind me of something. Something that we have in our world today called a heat shield. And what I'll do is, for this video, I'll try to download, I'm at work with my phone, so I'll try to download an image of the heat shield on a space vehicle, and because literally the heat shield is to ablate the plasma. It's 3,500 degrees or something when they re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, they're burning the atmosphere with fire, or with plasma when they come in. That's how hot it is. Okay. Job 41, canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Okay, here we go. Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dares stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me, that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. Okay, I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment? Or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. Okay, here we go with the scales. I should have probably just started reading here. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air. Remember, I'm thinking of a heat shield on a dragon capsule. A dragon that goes up into that sea up there, those seas, those waters. It sure is like Leviathan, but let me keep reading. They are joined one to another, I'll read that last verse again. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together, that they cannot be sundered. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, and as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together, they are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon, or breastplate. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp-pointed things upon the mire. Listen to this now. This is important. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. That sounds like SpaceX Dragon, if you ask me. Burning the deep. And he maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. A heat shield. Anyway, in Genesis, let me just explain something that has been on my mind. If you know that you don't live on a globe, if you don't believe that lie anymore, would it be a tragedy for you to believe another lie that's just a lie, even if it's not the globe? I'm saying if you have found truth by understanding that we don't live on a globe, what good will it do you if you just start believing another lie? And there's kind of two areas where I see a possibility of people just falling into another deception, or maybe are. Space is fake. There is no space. Okay, I understand. I think when someone says space is fake, they think NASA's lying. They think that there's people at NASA that know the Earth is a plane, and they're lying to people for money or something. I'm sorry that you think that way. I really am, because that isn't the truth. The truth is found in here. And here's an example of some truth. Okay, Jesus appeared to Saul and told him that he was going to be that Saul was a chosen vessel, and he would be serving the King of Kings. And I'll just read that little part to you. And this is an example of truth concerning, is NASA lying? Is NASA lying, or are they being deceived by devils? That's where I'm going with this. Okay, and Saul breathing out. Oh, I don't have to read all that. Okay, so Jesus said this to Saul when he was on the road, and Saul went blind for 3 days or whatever. Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. So Jesus says to him, Go thy way I'm sorry, that's not, I'm sorry. Did I not read that part? And the men journeyed with him, stood speechless. Let's see. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and hath seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. So then Ananias Ananias was a little scared because there was rumors of what Saul was. And he said, "Go thy way, for he's a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake." Okay, so Paul ended up writing a bunch of important letters to churches. And we read those letters today. And in one of those letters to the Ephesians, Paul talked about this spiritual battle that I keep trying to talk about. And the only reason why I understand it is because Paul is a chosen vessel, and Paul had something revealed to him in heaven that he wasn't able to say on the earth. But he was told what he could say. And there's a mystery, a secret that's been kept. And it was revealed to Paul. And let's see, Ephesians 6. So he's talking about, I'll just read this from verse 10. "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Where's the darkness of this world? It's not in this world. It's above this world. It's called night. God called it night. He named it. He called it night and day. Let's read about that real quick. Darkness and night are the same thing. Okay, people would say it's a lack of light, but I think it's something different than that. Just a lack of light. Then you have darkness. Well, why is it darkness? Why wouldn't it be blue, or why wouldn't it be pink? Why is it black? Why is it the color where you can't see anything? Why is it darkness? Let's see here. In Genesis 1, verse 14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven." So, the point I want to make, the firmament of heaven was a place of, or under the firmament of heaven, I guess. I really don't know. The firmament of heaven had to be a place of darkness. Has to be. Okay, so space is the firmament. That's what I think. Because it has to be a place of darkness. Otherwise, God would not have made these lights to give light upon the earth. Without the sun, moon, and stars, there would be no light in the firmament. Unless that's the light that he created right away when he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. I don't know what that light is. But right here it says, "And God saw the light, that it was good, and that God divided the light from the darkness." Divided it. Light, darkness. "And God called the light day," it's daytime right now, "and the darkness he called night." Okay, so some people have the idea of some imaginary darkness where it doesn't really exist. It's just something that they imagine, or I've imagined it, I guess. Like if you were to think of, in the heart of the earth, or anywhere in the earth, like below us in the dirt or something like that, you could think of that as darkness. So maybe it is darkness, but specifically God called the darkness night. He called it night. We still do that today. When the sun goes away, it becomes night, and it becomes dark. Darkness. Simple concept, guys. And the idea that NASA's lying to us, Paul disagrees with that. Paul explains it different. I'll keep reading. Okay, so we're battling against spiritual wickedness in high places. And if you actually look that up in the Greek, the words that it says we're battling against cosmic powers of evil in the heavenly realm. Cosmic powers of evil in the heavenly realm. That's simple. That's in the firmament or in heaven, okay? Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherein ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that an utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, and therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. But that ye also may know my affairs. Okay, I'm going to stop there, but Paul was very clear that all these, there's men involved in hiding the truth. And I'll explain how I see that, okay? Because actually, that's right away in Psalm, I think, right at the beginning. Let's just go there really quick and look at, whoa, got a ripped page here. Book of Esther. It says that they hide the truth in unrighteousness. Oh, no, that's in Romans, I'm thinking. It says something similar in Paul, but in Romans 1, verse 18, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Okay, men are involved in holding the truth, but here's how I see that. Your kindergarten teacher that had a globe sitting on his or her desk, they held the truth from you in unrighteousness, but they were not lying. They were believing a lie and teaching it to you. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a difference there that I think is important. If the devil tricks you, you'll believe a lie. You won't be, if the devil deceives you, he won't tell you, well, actually the earth is flat, but I need you to tell the world that it's a globe because you work for me or something. That's dumb. Satan deceived the whole world, all of mankind. Our entire understanding was a deception. So take that however you will. I just, let me go to Ephesians 3 again really quick. Just something that is interesting. Someday you'll all understand that there's not a bunch of men that hold some secret against from the world. There's not. And I don't know how damaging that is, that people just go around accusing NASA of lying with harnesses and things when they're not doing that. And I know a lot of people say, oh, no, we have video of them doing that. No, you don't. You have video that you believe says, look at this. And I have put those videos on my channel. There's a video where it looks like he's pulling on a cable. I don't know what to say about that. But that doesn't prove that that men are lying. Okay? This is a larger scope. Do you guys realize that this is about salvation and that this is the end of the world? This is the end of the age. The book of Revelation is happening right now. We're in that war in the day of the Lord. And the wrath of God is, I think you can look around in the world and you can see that some of that might be happening the last few years. Things that have been happening in the world that have never happened in your life, or probably your parents' life. Things that you can't even talk about on YouTube, or they'll kick you off. They'll take away your privilege of free speech. But look what it says in here. This is why I know that someday you guys will understand this. And it's to look at it with that, it makes you have compassion on your enemy, because they're exactly what Jesus said. They're sheep without a shepherd, and he had compassion on them because he could see that. They had no one leading them. They had a father of lies. This is Ephesians 3, verse 14. For this cause I bow my knees unto the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in the inner man, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in love may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth and the length and depth and height, and to know the love of Christ, which passeth knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of God. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us, unto him be the glory in the church by Christ Jesus throughout all ages, world without end. Amen. There's a different way to understand the things, the lies that are happening in this world, the lies that people are believing, that many of us see right through. And to see through the lie is awesome. But if you just point your finger at your neighbor that works at NASA or whatever, you point your finger at another human being saying that's the person that's doing this, that's wrong. So I don't really know, you guys, a lot of you close your eyes to the things that are actually happening, the things that are important. Do you believe in God? Has biblical cosmology showed you that God is right there? Literally up in heaven, in the sky is where God lives, and he looks down on this earth. Through the firmament, from the firmament, there's a sea of glass by his throne. Do you believe that? Then why do you ignore the entire aerospace industry and just pretend that it's not there? Pretend that it's not making this giant assault on the firmament, and that it's become a routine thing for a dragon to be going in and out of the earth. I just think that it's all because you're being deceived by the dragon. You just say he's fake. Well, I'm here to tell you he's not fake, and that this story is happening, and I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to talk about Leviathan a little bit. You guys have a good one.